Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. Again, I just want to mention what a joy it is just to be here with you. Not to really, in a sense, do anything except just to be with each other in our loving presences. Just a joy to be with you. We do have a couple of things to mention, however. First of all, you should have received our reading list about a week ago, and also you should have received the testimony that I gave on the open forum last Sunday. Both of those should be in your emails. In addition to that, let me just make a brief comment. I see in all of our groups that we are really at a higher level of awareness. We are bringing heaven to earth. We are bringing awareness to the planet. And I just hope you feel that presence within you. We're doing something very, very special, not only for our own evolution, but also for the evolution of humanity, truly our species, the planet, and the universe. With that in mind, let me just suggest again what a joy it is to be with you here this morning, and especially to understand and see how each one of us is living more and more consciously. You are consciously bringing heaven to earth. You are consciously bringing awareness to the planet. While others are continuing in their own soul journeys, you personally are elevating into the beautiful soul presence that you have always desired to be. I want you to know that I applaud you. I encourage you to continue, and I'm inspired by your goodness. In this vein of becoming more and more of who we are, I am happy to present this week's teaching as the promised follow-up of last week's teaching. Today's teaching is You Are Ascending, Part 2. First, a brief review, and then I will focus on the 5 things that I feel that we are doing as we ascend. Our first review again concerns the definition of ascension. By ascension, we mean a raising of consciousness, not the ascension of the body off the earth, but an ascension of consciousness. Experiencing yourself differently in your present body. Ascension does not mean leaving the planet, but becoming fully conscious on the planet in your physical body. The second review concerns the following things that you no longer do, from not worrying about what other people are saying, to not, in a sense, pretending just to be spiritual. We then, in a sense, looked at what you can no longer do. Namely, you can no longer express or harbor an unkind word, action, or thought. You no longer break the energetic oneness with others. This is quite an accomplishment. And lastly, we commented on what you are doing, and that is from becoming a new spiritual being to having that all the time presence, that smile in your heart. With this brief review, we are now ready to consider the things that we will do, and may I suggest the following 5 things. First, you will have a new starting line. You will be changing channels. By this I mean, rather than simply accepting what life brings to you, you will be consciously creating your reality with great confidence and with truly that sense of you know what you are doing. The basis of your confidence is the alignment that you feel with the God Spirit within you. There is now a knowing within you that you are doing the right things in your life. Whether it is a direct action that you are taking, or whether there is a new you that is emerging, there is a sense within you that you are perfecting your life. Not arrogantly, not boastfully, but with the sense that you know what you are doing and you are living from your best self. You know this. You are living from your best self. Further, you don't need anyone else to tell you that you are evolving, but rather you feel the internal uplift from the spirit within you. Your internal spirit has become exactly what the Course of Miracles suggested that it would be. Your internal spirit has become your internal teacher. Your internal spirit has become your internal teacher, and you listen. You listen daily, attentively. You listen to the voice within you. As you progress in accepting your role as a conscious creator of the reality of your life, you are beginning to sense that. You're beginning to sense that you are becoming a master of self-creation, rather than simply accepting what is coming to you. May I say this again? You are becoming a master of self-creation, rather than simply accepting the stuff that is coming to you. And as a master of creation, you joyfully take full responsibility for your creations. This shift from simply accepting what life brings to you to becoming the conscious creator of your life is the first step in spiritual maturity, and you have taken it. You have become spiritually mature. This first step is quite a big step, for in taking it, just follow me, you are experiencing the experience of being a conscious creator. I'll repeat this. This first step is such a big step because in taking it, you are experiencing the experience of being a conscious creator. This is the first thing that we will be doing in our lives. Now for the second step, which follows from the first one of being a conscious creator. The second step is that you will look for opportunities to extend your love and goodness. Notice that I did not say you will look for opportunities of service, because that seems to imply a separation between your creativity and the deeds of service. Rather, I would like to emphasize that the very essence of your creativity, which is centered in goodness and love, makes you want to serve. You don't look for opportunities of service. You want to serve. As Jim Self would say in A Course of Mastering Alchemy, it's 100% about self-creation and 100% about service to others. You begin to experience oneness with others and with all of nature and with all of the universe. Let me even be clear. Your daily intention from the first moment of wakening in the morning is to bring heaven to earth, to bring awareness to the planet, You want to do this because this is who you are. You are an expression of this love and goodness. You simply want to be the loving creative presence that the God Spirit has placed within you. This loving spirit that the God Spirit has placed within you has two very interesting characteristics. May I suggest them? The first one, you will walk through the noises of life and see only beauty. You will see what is meant to be in all that is going on in front of you, without exception. You will clearly realize that your circumstances no longer define you, but rather, wherever you are meant to be there. And you are meant to be there as the light for the circumstances. In a word, you are showing up. You are showing up creatively, confidently, and most of all, lovingly. And then the second characteristic, while you deal with what you have to, you will be creating new things from within you. You will not only be showing up to what you have to show up to, but you will also be showing up by bringing forth new experiences from your creative goodness, bringing them joyfully into your life, such as many of you have already done in Now Creations. For we are creating opportunities of service for and with each other. And as we do these things, you just begin to see that it is a participation in the greater loving service of all of life, mutually supporting each other. Which now brings me to the third thing of what we will do. The third point of what we will do has had a long history, but now it has a new twist. The third thing that we will do is to join with others. As I mentioned, joining with others in matters of spirituality has had a long history, from the earliest Hindu communities to the megachurches of today. However, there is a new and better thrust, which is very interesting for us today. Whereas in the past, we might have gathered in allegiance to a person, such as Jesus, the Buddha, or Muhammad, or in allegiance to a book, such as the Quran, the Vedas, or the Bible, or in allegiance to an organization with its dogmas and rituals, such as a church, a temple, or a mosque. We now gather from the presence of the God Spirit within us to support each other. We recognize that the most important thing we can possibly do is to support each other, because we have come to recognize that each of us has a common space. We have a common place. We have a common consciousness. We have a common spiritual awareness at the very center of who we are. And it is from this space, that we have come to nourish and to feed each other. We gather to support each other. We gather to support each other. And we acknowledge that this common space is in everyone, whether everyone acknowledges or not. That space is common to everyone. Thus, no one is excluded from our oneness. No one is excluded. It doesn't mean that everyone is conscious of the oneness, but what it does mean is that we see everyone. We see everyone through the lens of oneness. There are no enemies. There are no lost souls. And no one is a sinner. We are all simply souls evolving. And if someone is not in this presence of oneness, we are. We are inclusive of everyone. This oneness is such an important thing because we understand that from this oneness, we have become the church of the Spirit within. We are a church of universal oneness. And the simple rule of our church of universal oneness are the words of Jesus in the Course in Miracles when he said, "Teach only love, for that is what you are." It is the church of oneness based on conscious love. Enough said. The fourth and fifth aspects of what we will do also have a familiar past, and yet something that might surprise you. First, the familiar past. The fourth aspect of what we will do is very familiar to us, and is something that we not only have done, but we have done with a certain sense of familiarity. But as we do this, there is just something a little bit more waiting for us. Our fourth aspect of what we will do is the desire to be personally quiet, to enter into the stillness. But not only to enter into the stillness, but also to join with others in a common practice. Let's talk about these two things, personal stillness and joining with others. First, our desire for that quiet spiritual time. Each of us, I think, truly desires more and more quiet time because it is in the quiet that the Spirit speaks to us. We have to get beyond the noise to feel that presence within. It is in the feeling of the presence. It is in the feeling of the presence that we recognize the God Spirit that we are becoming. It is in the feeling of the presence within that you are finally recognizing that, you really are a spiritual being. You've heard that a gazillion times, but now you understand that. You are becoming a spiritual being. Oh, by the way, yes, you're still having a human experience. It is in the feeling of the presence that you will truly, truly understand that the noise of life is dissipating and you are moving into that higher place of living from your internal sense of guidance. Now, as you do those things, a very big surprise, quite unexpected, begins to happen to you. As you become quieter, this to me is just so wonderful. As you become quieter, you will become more creative from the inner presence that begins to direct your life. And you will be willing to listen because your inner presence knows the real you. that you've always wanted to be. May I just say that again? As you become quieter, come to know who you are, you will become so much more creative, because that presence within you knows the you that you've always wanted to be. And thus, you start creating from the real you. You start creating from the real you, and you begin to show up in ways that are surprising even to you. You begin to discover new parts of the real you that so far surpass who you thought you were. The little you, your old little self, has now taken on a greater joy and happiness. It's taken on a greater confidence in knowing, for truly, truly, the larger you, coming from the spirit within you, is now who you have become. You are stepping into enlightenment. The fifth and last thing that we will do, and yet you are noticing something that for many of us is exceeding just your personal enlightenment. You are beginning to realize that the spiritual center you have stepped into is a universal spiritual center. It is a shared space. It is a common space. You're beginning to understand this. And now, you know many people, especially people in our now creations groups, with whom you share this space. In this common shared space, names and personalities are only minimally exchanged because they are of minimal importance. Not unimportant, but of minimal importance. What is important is the spiritual energy that we share. What is in you is in me. What is in me is in you. You have clearly come to understand and feel that the energy of the whole so much more exceeds simply the energy of the sum of the parts. And yet there's even more. The energy that you are experiencing with the group energy is itself only a part of a larger, more universal whole. And little by little, but more and more, you are realizing that your groups are participants in that larger universal energy that is expressing itself through your groups, our groups, and through you and through me. We're part of something so much bigger. And yet that so much bigger is not only within our groups, but it is also within ourselves. Now, honestly, is it any wonder that you are bringing heaven to earth? Is it any wonder that you're bringing awareness to the planet? It is who you have become. Do you not understand this? It is who you have become. Such personal and communal spiritual practice is, as one member said recently, what I most look forward to each day and each week. Me too. Here with each other we are home. Well, in conclusion, I have run out of time again, and we will obviously add a part 3 to this teaching of You Are Ascending. In part 3, I will focus much more on what I'll call new experiences, even beyond the experiences that you will be doing. And please realize that wherever you are in your journey, you're just going to become even better. And maybe not just better, you're going to become your best. You are walking into stardom. You are walking into stardom in more ways than you might think. With this sharing, let me now lead you into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. Let us begin as we are wont to do, by simply focusing on that presence within us, and especially allowing it to come to us in the breath. Just breathing in and breathing out, your natural breathing rhythm, allowing the body and mind to calm, and bringing your soul to the fore. Please begin, and then I will come to guide you. Did you notice how easily it was to come into your calmness? You didn't have to labor at it, worry about it. It was just there. Does not this indicate to you that you now have a new starting point? You have a new starting point. Not what the world is bringing to you, but the presence within you that guides your direction in life. Do you not see this clearly? That you start now a new starting point from the conscious presence within you. Let's proceed. This conscious presence within you has become your new observational point, your new evaluation point. Whatever is occurring is processed through your inner spirit, through your conscious awareness. Would you notice this? The presence within you is now how you observe everything. It is from here that you evaluate. Be clear of this conscious awareness. Now I'm going to suggest to you there are three things that your observational point, the spirit within you, directs. The first one is what is coming from within you. You are in contact with your inner spirit. Before anything gets expressed, you know what you're doing. And you take full responsibility for it. Whether it's something personal, or interpersonal, or social, you are becoming a master of creation because you are consciously evaluating what is coming forth from within you. Please focus on this. You are consciously evaluating what is coming forth from within you. You have a new starting point. Being aware that you are creating your reality is the first step in spiritual maturity. There's no one yanking your chain. There's no one to blame. You are consciously creating it. You are spiritually mature. And now to the second area. In the second area, we focus on the things that are coming to you from the outside, the things that you have responsibility for or participate in. As things come to you, you begin to realize two things. The first one is, wherever you are meant to be. And secondly, you're meant to be there as a light. Sometimes to receive, but sometimes more often actually to give. May you truly understand that wherever you are meant to be as the light, with the understanding that you are evaluating, that you are observing from the spirit within you that is your guiding light. As a result of always knowing that you're meant to be wherever you are, nothing is fearful anymore. Nothing is fearful because you know that you have a power within you that will guide you through anything. And for the most part, is elevating you into greater joy. Embrace your circumstances, knowing that you are a gift to wherever you are. No exceptions. And lastly now, the third part. The first was the presence within you, becoming a master of creation. The second was responding to the situations of life in which you participate. And now the third one, that combination of the desire for inner quiet and yet also to be with others in spiritual practice. May you realize the importance of both. Both. How important it is to be quiet, and yet also how important it is to be quiet with others. Know yourself and know your spiritual friends. And from the quiet within, with our spiritual friendship with each other, may we come to embrace the oneness of all of us. Quiet, shared quiet, oneness.
Namaste.
You are ascending. I am ascending. We are ascending in consciousness, right here on the planet, in our physical bodies. What a joy it is to do so with you. Namaste, dear ones. Namaste.